statewide news coverage. I know Governor Rowland is doing a radio show. And other than the interview that the girls did on NBC News, I believe it was, there has been nothing out there on the TVs, in the papers, or nothing. We are here, and providers are sending letters to the editors in, and they're not being published. I heard that New Haven Register, there was one that was sent in, and I've been watching, I haven't seen it yet. I keep looking every day. I really think that we need statewide coverage, because I made a few calls the other day to some of the associations that were there. Many of them didn't even know what was going on. They knew nothing about it. Even though they got the ballots, even though they got the postcards, they weren't aware of what was going on. We need to inform them. They really need to hear it, otherwise nobody's going to stand up. So how can we get that coverage?
Well, I'll say that there's going to be coverage on a couple of events, certainly. Deb and We the People produced some stories when they filed. On Tuesday, because of the hearing, that will definitely be covered, and that will be an opportunity, especially if we get a good crowd up there, that will produce a story in itself. And every time the story gets out, it works to our advantage, because really it's one of these cases where we're just right about this. You know, I mean, the general public reading it is going to sympathize with our position. And when Attorney Suma files the lawsuit, we'll get coverage at that moment too. And thereafter, we will look for opportunities to make a story out of this. And we have allies in John Rowland and Pastor Will and some of the other radio folks. I would encourage you to keep working on the letters to the editor. Chris Healy has been good enough to, who's a defined writer as well as being a political genius, has been good enough to produce some model letters. So anybody who's interested in writing into their local paper, we've got some copies of that here today, and we've also can email it to you to give you an idea of what might make a good letter. I'd also look for local press opportunities on this, for your own group to contact a local paper to get the word out in the area and say, this is what's going on, we're having a meeting to discuss it, or whatever. But as Rob said from the beginning, it's always a frustration when you have a political argument to make that you don't get as much coverage as you feel that the issue deserves. You just have to keep leaning on it, and you have to look for opportunities to have events or pieces of news which are significant to a reporter, that attract the coverage of a reporter, like this one today that's brought one. Yeah.
May 11th of this year is National Provider Appreciation Day, Childcare Provider Appreciation Day, and we would like to storm the Capitol as it would. So any of you who have that day off, National Day in Connecticut, given to us by former Governor Rowland. So we would like to go to the Capitol and march on the Capitol as family child care providers. So that would give us coverage on that day. So if you don't have that day off, get that day off. Try to bring your kids. Bring your kids. If you don't have that day, bring your kids. I know in Bristol, I've already contacted First Student Bus. They will provide us transportation. It's going to cost you $1 to ride a school bus to the Capitol. Call your bus transportation to school. Go there and talk to them. Plead your case like I did. They'll work with you. Tell them what's going on. They will work with you. You have to get out there. You have to talk.
What time is that?
We haven't really got a time yet, but sign up to the coalition email, and we will send out a mass email.
That's a great idea.
Let everybody know.
Saying about the legislators, you guys, your clients, don't be afraid to give them a call. If you live in their district, they can meet with you right in district. Okay? If not, they can give you a one-on-one phone call. When you call and talk to their assistant, and you ask for that meeting or that appointment, and when you don't get a phone call back, you call back the next day. It doesn't take more than 24 hours to get that scheduled. So don't say, well, I don't want to bug them, I'll give it a week or two. Within 24 hours, you should have that phone call or that appointment. If not, you make the call back. Don't be afraid to. It's not bugging them. There's no reason. They represent you guys.
And you pay their salaries.
Recently we met with SEIU to hear what they had to say. And one thing that they keep telling everyone is that daycare providers have asked them to collective bargain for us. If they've been here since 2004, trying to get into our state, who's asking them? Because I don't know anybody that's asking them that's in my
I do, but
business.
we won't go into that. I'll get you next, okay?
One other statement I want to make. This is just a start. When you think about it, talk to your spouses and family members also. If this goes through and is not defeated, what's to stop the governor from passing an executive order that every convenience store that's privately owned unionized, that every privately owned machine shop, or any privately owned business, the same order could go on that. You go to Pratt & Whitney, yeah, they're unionized. But you might go to a machine shop that has 4 or 5 people working there and one owner, and they could do the same thing. So we have to stop this now because this, have no idea, this is just a start, and I'm sure their plans are to go right through and try and unionize every business in the state. So I just want to remind you that and pass it on.
Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to make a comment here. Please be strong. Do not let them intimidate you. You mentioned that the newspapers are useless, but they're not always useless. We have a group from Essex. We have a group down in Essex of conservative women, and we're very, very active. And one of our members had a menacing message left on her at 11:45 at night, left on her phone message machine. She worked with Kevin Wren at the Hartford Courant, and the day following that story breaking, the guy was out. So stand up to the intimidation, which you are quite likely going to get. Don't let them get away with it.